So I wanted to talk today about, and it's going to be a brief message, but in my new book that I'm writing, I have a section on more or less how Christians tend to, just walk in their hurts and, just it really seems that they're not working anything out against anybody that has problems with them, and they stay in bitterness, and there really is a lack of love. I mean, when you see a lot of Christians, how someone obviously irritates them, and believe me, we all go through irritation with people and stuff like that, and the real question is, are we really working things out with one another? Now, with the world, I mean, we need to be lights in this dark world, showing Jesus, understanding that, the people of the world don't have any concept of what real love is. But we as Christians, Jesus said that you are the lights of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. So, we need to shine our lights, but how can we do that if we continue to walk in bitterness, continue to walk in anger, continue to walk in hate, showing a life that is truly not redeemed by Jesus? So, how many Christians have bitterness in their hearts? How many Christians just want to punch somebody and stuff like that? And are we really forgetting Jesus' words when he said that, we will have to give an account of our lives for the wrong and the right done in our bodies? Because here on earth, this is only a temporal existence here on earth. In our earthly bodies, we're judged by what we say and by what we do. Every moment in our life, every encounter we have with somebody, are we showing integrity? Are we showing love? Every moment, we need to think, okay, I'm going to be judged for what I'm doing in this body. I have an opportunity before me to do good or to do evil. What am I going to do? So, a lot of Christians tend to be bitter, whether it's with parents, and, I can understand, if abuse happened, if somebody is mentally and verbally abusive, that's understandable. But Jesus never gave any stipulations when he said, if you forgive, you will be forgiven. There was no stipulations in that. Forgiveness is a thing that we all have to do. And, if you have bitterness toward your parents, and maybe they were physically abusive, maybe they still are. No, of course, being around them is not going to be healthy. But on your end, you can forgive them from the stuff they have done to you in the past. You can forgive them from afar. And, just pray that they come to know God. Once they come to know God, God will soften their hearts. Just like that I Can Only Imagine movie where the guy's father was just abusive, until his mom left. And his father ends up coming to Jesus because I believe it was the Christian messages he heard and stuff. And so his father's heart changed. And his father started to serve him and stuff until he started getting sick. And so, God can change any heart that may be evil. So, it's imperative that we forgive, because one day we will have to give an account. And Jesus will ask us, have you learned to love? Have you forgiven them? And that's a question, because he already knows the answer. So do we want to stand before Jesus and have to give an account of why we didn't forgive? Because no answer that we can give can hold water to, the love that Jesus has shown on earth. You know, when he was beaten, you know, when we didn't love him, he continued to love us. So our actions will constantly weigh against what Jesus had done, against the love that he had showed when he was on earth. So our earthly existence is only temporary. So how many of us in the church refuse to show any kind of love to our brothers and sisters because of, you know, issues? You know, I've seen a lot of this in the church, to where, you know, you have disagreements between you know, two brothers in church or two sisters in church. And instead of working things out, they bring a third party in. So one person gets bitter at somebody else, tells somebody else, and you get two people against that person. When Jesus said, I believe in Matthew 18, to where if your brother sins against you, go show him his wrong. And we don't do that in the church. If anything, we just, you know, go to somebody else and tell them about it, rather than going to the person. You know, who knows if it was a misunderstanding or whatever it might be. You know, so what are we going to do? You know, because when our time here on earth is done, then, you know, we're going to be living the rest of our eternity. And we're going to look back and be like, man, why didn't I act another way? Why didn't I do what was right? And, you know, we need to really seek God about where we're at. We need to get into his presence and say, Lord, is there anything in my heart that is not right, that is not lining up with you and your word? And ask God to reveal it. If you have something against somebody else, then go to that person and work it out. Let love go forth before you, so that, you know, God could bring the change that is necessary. So, you know, I just wanted to share that bit of information. You know, if you have anything against anybody, you know, go give them a call, or go to them and say, look, you know, this happened. I don't know if it's the truth, or what you said the other day really bothered me, so I really wanted to come and work it out with you. You know, that's all we have to say. You know, who cares how, you know, uncomfortable it is? Because what's more comfortable? You know, doing that, or standing before Jesus and having to give an account of why we didn't do it. So, I'm going to end it here. Thanks for taking the time to watch.